Welcome back to Let's Play Capo 2. Man, I am so freaking disorientated. I, pretty much slept through the majority of the day. I hate when that happens, because then it's freaking completely disorientated when you wake up, and always vivid nightmares pop up the longer I sleep. It's horrible, man. You know, this is a major change of, what's the word I'm looking for? Style, I don't know. Because past few days I've been marathoning through a different visual novel. Remember when I mentioned Manga Gamer's site and I was like, hey, they've got, the sequel to Karo Shoujo and they've got, the first one in that series. And so, I actually played through the first one since they've got, full version of that. I marathoned through the whole thing. And there's some stuff in that game that just disturbed the crap out of me. But it's it's one of those type of things where you just can't look away. You've got to know what happens. You've got to know what's behind all this mystery. But honestly, I found the true ending a little underwhelming. The build-up was really intense, but the epilogue itself felt a bit lacking. Felt like it could be expanded on. And I think her name's Toji, or Toji, I can't remember the pronunciation of her name at the moment, but there's one character in the novel that is absolutely badass. Easily my favorite character after the number of times she's displayed how badass she is. It's just she's got one arm, and she still can kick the crap out of anyone. She's one of the most badass female characters I've ever seen in fiction in general. Just complete badass. Huh? You know, if you're actually interested in that, it's called, crap, I keep forgetting what it's called. Tagra, or something like that. It honestly sounds like some kind of female version of Dracula, but it's not. It's pretty damn disturbing. If you've, say, gone through Karo Shoujo, you probably would expect that, because it's in the same kind of series, same make and all that. But it's a much earlier one. So, yeah. It's pretty freaking goddamn disturbing. But honestly, I played Karo Shoujo back in 2012, I think. And that was very disturbing as well, but I'm not sure which one's more disturbing, honestly. I'm partially thinking of, getting the voiced version, because I never actually got the voiced version of Karo Shoujo, because when I had originally got it, it was a year before they'd actually got permission to, sell the full voice version, because they had legal troubles with that at the start, but we're able to get around it. It's kind of the same with the Higurashi series as well. They couldn't get the original music for quite some time, so I'd got it originally back in the day when, they were selling it, without, some of the, whatever. But essentially, it's a pretty disturbing game, as is Higurashi, which always boggles my mind, because it's just they've got this tag for all ages, and Higurashi is in that, just all ages, yes, totally appropriate for any age whatsoever. It's just it's a case of, well, there is no hentai scenes in the novel, but there's certainly a lot of fucked up scenes in it, but because there's no hentai scenes, it's all age. It just kind of boggles my mind a bit. But yeah. So, overall, yeah, pretty disturbing visual novel, but my god, the mystery behind it is intense and just, you can't freaking look away, you've got to find out. But some of those, hentai scenes, a few of them are pretty damn disturbing, and I'd rather have not have seen them, honestly. Some of them pretty straightforward, alright, fair enough, but, there's 2 or 3 of them that I'm just I would have rather have not seen that, thank you very much. No, 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 no. Oh, hell god, no, fuck that shit, that was freaking, ugh. I literally felt nauseous through one of them. Just what is seen cannot be unseen. Oh, god. The Kane who was sitting in front of me had to do 2 cents, but let's get to the plot. This will be like a kind of, a bit of a kind of, change in scenery, I suppose. Just like, okay, enough with that crazy shit. We got something a lot more laid back and a bit more normal. Although they'll probably have, like, scenes where it's just like, oh, the feels, but at least it's not, oh god, that's just fucked up. Oh, me? That's because the plot has not allowed it. Aka seemed to enjoy presenting her complaint. Well, that's because I have a girlfriend. It's just like, when you have a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it may be, you tend to ignore friends, usually a bit. If I go around playing with other girls, all of a sudden... Look at Wataru and Tsuganami, they've pretty much disappeared from the plot, especially Tsuganami. I mean, Wataru made a brief reappearance, but Tsuganami has not been seen in a long time. Nope, we haven't really made any plans, but I nervously watched as they surrounded me. I'm pretty sure these guys just want to interrogate me about how I'm doing with Yume. That one's fine with me, I... I know you guys invited me and all, but Yume will probably be waiting for me at the school gate, so, sorry. I politely declined. And there was that thing yesterday. If they found out about that, who knows what they'd say. There's always gotta be one of those scenes, hasn't it? That kinda reminds me, actually. I remember at some point, I think it might have actually been at the end of the previous recording session, I remember checking the CG gallery to see what CGs were still missing. There's obviously some Sakura CGs missing because she has her own separate route after clearing all the other routes. And I think there was 1 or 2 CGs missing in Otne's ones. I think that might be making an appearance in this route, I'm not entirely sure, but it's that one where she's outside the window where she's just looking up like, or just like, this is serious plot business, should I tell him? No, and just wanders off. So maybe the 2 missing CGs are in Yume's route, I have no idea. But of course Yume still got some missing CGs, because we haven't really gone through her entire route yet. I'll just avoid this pitfall for now. She's right there, man. I saw Yume looking troubled at the classroom door and Anzu wore a look of satisfaction. What the? How did you get captured so fast? That's right, no matter what you ask us, we have nothing interesting to say. Anyway, I've got an idea. I think there's a nice movie showing, so why don't we all go see that? You know, it kind of reminds me back to the Katagra, whatever the freaking hell it was called. The protagonist of that, I remember one of the characters commenting that he can also be dense at times, and it's true, but, well, honestly, the protagonist is supposed to be a detective, but honestly, his sister does a much better job of it than him, but I kind of relate to him at some points. He has a bit of points where his mind kind of wanders. I find that a lot more relatable than Yoshiyuki is like, yeah, let's not think at all. Ever. Crap! You demons! They're trying to win her over. Anaka smiled happily and Akane smiled a completely different type of smile at the thought of having fun with us. Anzu had an indecent smile on her face, and Coco just looked as though she was getting dragged along for the ride. I guess I can't get away. I'll just hope they don't find out about last night. Yume, what would you like? Yume was staring at the menu like she had a difficult time choosing. You know, all that time I was sleeping through the day, the bird was probably thinking the whole time, he's like, come on, wake up already, I've got to chip my freaking goddamn head off at you and all that. Let's take one each then and split them between us. Yume looked up at me and smiled. All four of them were staring at me and Yume. Well, we're going out. Of course we get along well. Tanaka smirked and then she made her move. She suddenly grabbed my hand. Here she goes again with that. Of course, you'd have to have seen Tanaka's route to know what she's actually doing this for. Huh? Suddenly, Nanaka's face turned bright red. Oh, did she? What's wrong, Nanaka? She must have, hasn't she? Hey, I'm the surprised one. He just grabbed my hand all of a sudden. I seem to remember her doing it a long time ago, but she hasn't done it lately. Going out with Yume, so since a cute girl like Nanaka suddenly grabbed my hand. Ow, 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 ow! Yume looked so cute when she was pouting next to me. Suddenly, Anzu proposed a toast with the green tea that had arrived. Wait, why are we performing a toast with tea? Akane and the others bombarded us with questions for about 3 hours before they finally let us go. That face right there shows that she did indeed just do that, didn't she? Didn't she? Didn't she? And I always do that in a subtle kind of way, just like, not explaining what the hell I'm talking about, it's just like, those who have seen the Naka's route will know what I'm hinting at, essentially. But that's what it is, isn't it? Phew, we're home. Worn out after being interrogated by my gossip-loving classmates, we finally made it home. Yume looked incredibly exhausted as well. Yeah, Jesus, because those guys will ask every single question it takes to stifle their curiosity. They really don't respect anyone's privacy. I'm glad we managed to protect our biggest secret, though. Just imagining what they'd do if they found out, that frightens me to no end. Well, I guess I'm glad they're not against me. For some reason, a vein popped up on Yume's forehead. That's because it's one of those type of visual novels, Yume. It always happens. And it always happens to a guy that's plain and quite dense, usually. It's always the same, isn't it? No, they're not always hanging around me. I hang out with Tara and Tsukunami a lot, too. Oh, bullshit, man! You haven't hung around with them in freaking God knows how long. Well, technically, she was the one who reached out for his hand. Come on, that was just because she suddenly grabbed mine. Anyone would. She stuck out her tongue as she smiled at me. Why, you? Thankfully, Yoshiyuki isn't like Makoto from school days. That would take a big-ass twist, that would. Yume. Yume blushed and opened the front door. Ah, these shoes. Is Otne here? Maybe she's here to talk about that thing yesterday. Yume looked a bit worried. Pat? Hey, don't make that face. It'll be okay if we talk it through with Otne. I'm sure she'll understand. I could smell a delicious aroma of curry coming from the kitchen. I guess Otne was making dinner. I told Yume to wait in the living room and walk to the kitchen. As I suspected, I found Otne in the kitchen. Otne smiled stiffly as she noticed me. Glad to be back. I see you're making dinner. I try to talk as normally as possible. No, we didn't. Both Yume and I are starving. We did eat a bit at Hanayori Dango, but that wasn't enough to fill my stomach. I'll help you out. I stood next to Otne and grabbed the kitchen knife. Things looked the same as usual. However, the atmosphere between Otne and I was definitely different. We can't keep at it like this. If we do, we're just going to be awkward around each other. Hey, Otne. About yesterday. Otne seemed a bit hesitant to reply, but then she stiffly apologized. Well, of course. Hearing Otne say that took the load off my mind. Got it. Yesterday was just a misunderstanding. No, it wasn't. Otne smiled at me and then she opened the pot and sampled the taste. I guess I really shouldn't ask why you did that. I see. Otne was always stubborn at times like these and would never tell you what something is actually about. Yeah, I do. I don't quite know how to put it, but I love her so much that nothing else matters. That would never happen. I answered full of self-confidence. I would give it my all to stay with her. I replied without hesitation. I don't know what will happen in the future, but there's no point in worrying about it right now. You know, I was expecting maybe you'll have like some badass moment where he'd be like, I'll kick the crap out of him. I will do whatever I can, and if something like that happens, I would fight to the very end. After all, I can only do my best. Otne didn't look up, she just kept stirring the pot. Even looking at her, I couldn't actually tell what Otne was thinking about. Well, those of us seeing Otne's route probably can. I could tell from her words that something was worrying her, though. Sure. Otne held out a spoonful of boiled curry, which I sampled. It should be fine. Sure. What the? I could faintly hear footsteps running down the corridor. Nah, it's nothing. Hey, Yume, the curry's done. Help me get the table set. Huh? What's wrong? Your face is all red. Weren't you sitting at the kotatsu? Somebody was clearly eavesdropping on all of that. If it was cold, why didn't you just turn up the heat? You may try to hide her face as she skipped off towards the kitchen. We've got tomorrow off from school. Put down a magazine I'd been reading as I lay in bed. Alright, today will be the first holiday for me and Yume as a couple. Maybe we should go on a date somewhere. Since it's Yume, she'll probably say it's a pain or something. But there's a good chance. While I was thinking about that, someone knocked on my door. Come on in. Yume opened the door a bit. She was still in her school uniform. Ah, haven't you gone home yet? Since she hadn't changed yet, that meant she must have been here since dinner. She nervously twiddled her fingers while standing in the doorway. Did she come to talk to me about something? Aren't you cool just standing there? Come on in. Yume nodded, walked over to me and sat down on my bed. I sat up on the door and moved over next to Yume. We were sitting shoulder to shoulder. I was sitting closer than when we were like siblings, but it felt completely natural. Did you want something? She sounded a bit nervous. Maybe she was going to ask if I have any plans for tomorrow. That's perfect. I was thinking about that as well. She looked really surprised. Do you want to go somewhere, Yume? Like Sakuraland, maybe, or perhaps take a stroll around the shopping district? Yume was just gaping in surprise. Huh? Didn't you want to go on a date or something tomorrow? That wasn't it. So, what did you want to talk about? Get out of the way, Firefox. It closed the window doing that, what the hell? Well, clicked off the window entirely. She just twirled her hair around her fingers for a few seconds. And Yume took a really deep breath. She looked at me while she said that. What? Is it gonna be another one of those scenes? I thought it was only one per character, or maybe, actually, I think there might have been cases where it was two for some. Hey, why are you sitting on my lap? She was using me as a chair, but she didn't seem to think it was a big deal. You know, if this is gonna lead into one of those scenes, I wouldn't be surprised. Looking through the CGs, that were missing, it seemed like some of them would probably be from another one of those. She acted like a spoiled kid resting here there on my lap. Well, it's not that I'm not happy to be in this position, but I'm sure that little guy is going to wake up with her sitting where she is. God damn it, why must you make these scenes so awkward? Yume suddenly grabbed hold of, yeah, it's gonna lead into one of those scenes. We're off screening! You know what? This is like deja vu, man. You know, during that scene, I make one note. His thing, I don't know, it looked a bit awkwardly drawn, I think. We had changed into our pajamas and snuggled up under the covers. You know, honestly, I don't know what's felt more awkward, really. The scenes in this novel or the scenes in the other novel that I mentioned at the start of this recording. Should we go to sleep soon? If we stay up too late, it'll be a pain to get up tomorrow. Yeah, why's that? You know, also, during that scene, like right at the start, Yume was just like, but we did this yesterday, isn't it a bit too soon? Nah, I'm going to mess with you after you fall asleep. What? Swat? Oh, don't be so violent in bed. That means Yume wants to do a lot of perverted stuff, but only when she's awake. Swat? Yeah, you seem to feel a lot better today than yesterday, though. You know what? Here's a thought that I feel makes these scenes more awkward than they actually are, is because it's in a visual novel kind of thing, it seems almost like you've just stumbled upon them. You just walked in awkwardly and just like, close the door, just like, skip through it. Open your heart and, open your heart and you will feel good. Swat. To it, Capo, but it did feel better than yesterday, right? Well, if I recall, comparing the two scenes, I suppose, this second one seemed to go on a little longer, but only a little longer. Come to think of it, I'm pretty sure he still didn't use any goddamn precautions. It's pretty much the same in the other novel I was mentioning. These characters, like I said previous time, it's just a heat of the moment kind of thing. No precautions. Hey, that's not so bad. I love the perverted Yume as well. Alright, I'll take responsibility for teaching you that filthy stuff. I'll stay by your side forever. There's some awkward dialogue right here. What's up? Just like perverted stuff aside, you know. What? You don't want that? Having said that, Yume smiled happily, but for some reason her eyes were a bit moist. Looking at the scene outside the window, it was dyed a lonely shade of red. Winter twilight, alone and isolated, leaning on the windowsill, just staring at the scenery. I looked over at the school gates, the place where we all had met. One of my favorite places. As I averted my eyes, I let out a deep sigh. How much time had passed since then? How many tears had I cried since then? Even though I knew this was going to happen, even so, I couldn't bear the bottomless feelings of loss in my heart. Every day, I stay behind the classroom, continuously looking at that spot. A drop as a tear fell on the back of my hand. Once the tears started flowing, they would just endlessly continue. I sound like a freaking commentary over a documentary here. What the hell am I doing there? I couldn't do anything at all. It hurts. My chest hurts. Within this deep sadness, all I could do was stand around like a fool and look. Who's having this dream? I think it's obvious that it's Yume, but it could also be Otne, but it's probably Yume. I think she also kind of knows. I mean, she did say about, like, she had premonition and all that crap. I think she has the feeling that she kind of knows what's gonna happen and fears it, but can't really confirm it. It doesn't feel like a dream, but someone is dreaming it. Loneliness, sadness, pain. Keeping the tears locked inside until it felt like I was about to burst. I kept smiling even though I just wanted to scream. Because I had approved of it, decided that I would have no regrets. I am sure I made the right choice back then. I was so happy. It was the happiest time of my entire life. I am sure that what we did back then was not a mistake. But suddenly my vision trembled. The scenery blurred. Tears were flowing from my eyes. Suddenly I felt pressure against my cheek and chest and I woke up. Yeah, definitely gotta be Yume's dream. I mean, why would it be anyone else's? My chest feels so heavy. Wondering what was going on, I opened my eyes. Just barely awake, I glanced down at my chest. There was Yume asleep, bearing her head against it. Oh, that's right. Yume slept over last night, so that's why my chest felt so heavy. I was going to pat her gently, but then I realized she had my arms locked down. My legs too. She's got me in a flawless, inescapable hug, alright. I wonder what Otne is thinking about all this. It's just like she didn't come home. So I'm awake, but I can't get up. Oh, I know that feeling, man, but not because of this, but because of freaking sleep paralysis. Or that type of thing where it's not like quite sleep paralysis, but more your body just feels so weak and you can barely move. Although maybe that is pretty much sleep paralysis. That's what happened to me when I woke up. I was just like, I can't even... Just like, what time is it? I didn't have like... Well, I've got a watch, God knows where it is, so just kind of reaching for my iPod, just like kind of check the time on it, and I couldn't freaking get at it. So it's just like trying to like knock it off this table at the bottom of my bed, and using my foot because I could not sit up at all, and it's like, reach, and it's like, oh shit, it's 9 p.m. I guess I've become a hug pillow. I couldn't help but smile at Yume as she clung to me in her sleep. Well, it'd be mean to wake her up right now, so I guess I'll just lie here for a bit. I just stared at the ceiling, feeling Yume's warmth next to me. As my mind steadily became clearer, I started remembering that dream. Red. A world that had been deeply stained red. I wondered whose dream that was. It's obvious. I didn't really understand what it was about. I just remembered hopeless anxiety and loneliness. And my chest hurt too. Also the place outside that window. It's Kasami Academy, wasn't it? That must mean a dreamer is from our school. Well, no shit! I've had a lot of different dreams, but that's the first time I've had one like that. It was really realistic. And it hurt. Yume suddenly twitched in surprise and looked at me. She looked like she was still half asleep, defenseless and lying right on top of me. With her brain still off in dreamland, she spoke in a weird way. A sweet tone of voice which no one but me had ever heard. Yume's face moved up close to mine. She latched onto my lips. As Yume let go of my lips, she smiled a satisfied smile.
ちゃんと兄さんがいた。
Ah, that cements it even more. Not that I really need to cement that it was her dream, but... Yume? She looked startled and stared straight into my eyes. She suddenly twitched in surprise and vigorously pushed herself away from me.
夢じゃなかったんだ。
She blushed bright red and looked like she didn't know what to do with herself. Not a dream, huh?
いや、約束だね。
She glanced at me and said that, trying to hide her embarrassment. Man, this little devil is just too cute. I couldn't hold back, so I grabbed Yume and threw her down on the bed again. What?
兄さん。
Oh, come on, if you're going for the freaking free on this, man, then what the hell? Yeah?
ちょっと苦しいかも。
Don't tell me it's going into a third one. That's breaking records there. You don't like it?
嫌じゃない。
Oh, come on, man, this is getting ridiculous. Saying those words in a sweet tone, Yume snuggled up with her face against my chest. I mean, that all visual novel Katagra that I was on about, that's quite a number of those type of scenes, but I don't think there was a single character in that. Wait, actually, now that I think about it, yeah, there was one that I suppose had 3 of those scenes, but still, I think that was just the one thing there, man. It's just 3 times, man. Jesus Christ. Being so close to... I don't think I read the previous one. Being so close together, I could feel our hearts beating in time.
兄さんの匂いがする。
Hey, we got a smell fetish or something?
違うよ。兄さんのだからいいんだよ。
Then he raises his arm and BO sets in. He's just like, I don't like that anymore. Yume sniffed me for a little bit and looked up at me. So, how long are you gonna stay like this? We'd already been cuddling together in bed for a few hours. A few hours?! Bloody hell, they really are inseparable at this point. Don't you want to go anywhere since we've got the day off?
デートもいいけど、今はこうしてたい。
Having said that, Yume started kissing me deeply. Then she nibbled my lip a little bit and licked her own lips.
兄さんの味。
Well, no shit. Why, you...
兄さんのこと食べたいなって思ってさ。
You trying to eat his face? Eat me? Daring words, innocent face. Really, if she says that, I don't quite know how to respond. I like how he refers to it as his little guy, however replied immediately by poking at Yume's thigh. It's going to be another one of those scenes! My god, I don't even know how to title this part at this rate. Well, we're off screening. Wait, it was a peaceful and relaxing day, it didn't escalate? Well, that was unexpected. So I didn't need to adjust the volume for one of those scenes? Although, maybe something did happen, but it was non-CG related. Wherever it was brief. So today's P is a long distance running, huh? What a pain. But I think I'll just leave it at that. But seriously, man, they are inseparable. Maybe that'll be the title for this part. Something that just pretty much would sum it up, just like that, they're inseparable. I can't quite think of a title off the top of my head right now, but we'll get to that when I edit. So I'll see you next time, viewers. See you next time.